didn't stop playing pool. You don't stop being a pool player. It's not even what you do. It's like who you are. It's what you are. The place I shot pretty much all of these pool instructional videos. They closed down in March, and before that there's like a day shift and a night shift, but the day shift would leave about 2 o'clock and the night shift wouldn't get there until like 6 o'clock. So I would get there right after the day shift and well before the night shift, and just use that time when no one was there to make all these instructional videos. Yeah, they closed down in March, and that was it. They never reopened, and they're still closed. And I'm not one to sit around, crying about yesterday. I'm grateful for that opportunity. It was only half a mile away from my house, so I mean, it was convenient as hell. But it's over, It's over. You gotta adapt and find new ways to do things. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually playing more now than I have in years. And the big difference is I have to travel a lot further than I used to play. I'm a visitor at these places, so it's not like I'm a regular, I'm not going to go in and set up camera equipment and tripods and take videos, and the last thing I want most of the time is to draw attention to myself. So, it would just be totally inappropriate for me to even ask something like that of people who don't really know me. Even out in the wild, pool rooms are getting hard to find. They're closing down left and right, and they're saying, as the second wave of this pandemic hits, they're just folding. They're going under every day. I haven't ruled out getting my own table in my house, and now's the time to do that because pool tables are for sale all over the country from all these pool rooms and bars that are going under and just calling it quits. And I hate to capitalize on that, but I mean, and my big fear was getting a table at my house is I might never leave the house again. Yeah, I might become one of those, social phobic people that just locks themselves in the house and never comes out. That kind of scares me, because when you get older, you start running out of inspiration and motivation and energy. And it's like, then you just kind of like die. He produced some great videos, but he's dead now. The footage in the video that you're about to watch is from a tribute video I made, about a year ago, on my friend Chris Belial, or Cree, whatever you want to call him. And at the end of the video, I was kind of like testing myself and to see if I was in dead stroke, which I know I was before I took the video, but it's a 2-pack. And it wasn't one of these analytical videos where we, decipher every single shot and what I did and what I did wrong, right? It wasn't a how-to video or anything like that. It was just me kind of showing people that I was in dead stroke. So I'm using that 2-pack to make this video, or at least the first run out is. The second run out I'll use for another analytical video. I'll never go back to scheduled videos. I don't like that. It's fine for a couple of weeks, but then after a while it just becomes like an obligation that I don't want to be tied to. I think the first obvious problem here is this 7 and this 5. That's an issue we have to deal with. And the next glaring problem is this 9 ball and where it is. And can we get from the 7 to the 8 to the 9, and what's the easiest way to do that. So as you can see, the first half of this rack is pretty easy, but then it starts getting a little bit tricky in the second half. This is the kind of thing that overwhelms amateur players, and they just concede to it and just start getting down shooting balls without really thinking it through. Your thoughts when it comes to a rack like this should be, what is the easiest way to take something seemingly a little bit difficult and do it the easiest possible way. As we look at the pockets that I'm shooting each one of these balls, it's a very valid question to ask why I'm not shooting that 4 ball in that side, because that is the closest pocket to the 4 ball, and 9 times out of 10 you're shooting the object ball into the closest pocket to the ball. But in that 10% of the time, and is the exception, and this would be the exception. And the reason why is, if we look at where this 3 ball is, to get on a shot for the side pocket on that 4 ball, you would have to get perfect on it, and that would mean to the right hand side of the 4 ball in order to get right on this 5, in order to shoot that 6 ball the correct way to get on the 7. Now that was a whole head full of information, and I went a little bit too fast. So I want to slow it down and explain exactly what I'm talking about. Now, in this graphic, I moved the 4 ball over to shooting it in the side. So let's look at the problem with that. And it's funny, with most of my videos, I have to take for granted that you're a good player who's struggling to get great. And almost always, it's not your physical game. If you have the basics down and you have the basics right, and you have a good break and you can pocket balls, but somehow you're still struggling with your game, it's not your physical ability. It's almost always the way you're thinking. And the great thing about thinking right is the more you do it, the faster you get at it. And that's just the way the brain works. The body is slow as hell, but the brain is lightning fast and can size up situations like this in a split second. So a great player sees the right way, an easy way, just like that, in a blink of an eye, when it would take somebody who's not used to thinking right, 10 minutes to figure this table out. Because there are problems. And so the big problem with this rack and with doing it like this is now it forces you, number one, to get on the left side up underneath the 3 ball line to the left side in order to play it to this rail, and then all the way back up table to shoot the 4 ball at the right angle in order to get on this 5. And here's the whole key. We want to be right about here on the left side of the 6 ball line, so we can go 2 rails and play into the 7 ball line. And the reason we want to actually not play into it but get a little bit high or to the right hand side of this 7 is so we can just draw it back to this position and shoot the 8 to get back on the 9. Because again, the 7 and 8 to the 9, that's your main problem here. So we're trying to solve that. In order to solve that, we have to know where we're playing this 4 ball. So now let's take a look at a couple things that can go absolutely horribly wrong if we decide to shoot that 4 ball in the side pocket. Let's get perfect on the 3 in order to shoot that 4 ball in the side. And here's where we wind up, on the 3. And then you go to shoot the 3 and get on the 4 and you go too long and you wind up here, and now you got a thin cut the 4 ball if you didn't hit the 4 ball. And now there's no way to hold the cue ball to the 5 ball. Let's say you come up short on that 4 ball line, and now you wind up here, and the only way you can get on that 5 is to move the cue ball all over the table, and the more you move the cue ball, the more it can go wrong. So now you're causing all kinds of problems, and you're making this rack way more difficult than it has to be, when all you had to do is get straight on the 3 ball, or somewhere around straight. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but we want to shoot the 4 ball in this corner pocket, because in doing that, you're automatically staying perfect on the 5 in order to get the right shape on the 6, in order to get a little bit to the right hand of that 7-ball line to get on the 8 and to be able to run this rack easily. You know, everything I just said seems incredibly complicated. It's not. It's all about getting right on this 4-ball. If you can do that, you can run this rack. If you can't get right on this 4-ball, you're going to have all kinds of problems running this rack. So with all that information, let's go ahead back to the table and proceed to run this rack. You could say the 4-ball is the key shot in this game, but it's actually the 2-ball and getting as straight as you can on the 3. And this is in order to get the right angle. You want to stay on the right side of the 4-ball line if we look at up here. And that's best done with just the stop shot and taking the long shot on the 4. Now you could come up under the 3 and just, use that rail to bounce off of and get on the right side of the 4 and even closer, but you're taking a big chance that if you come up a little short or a little long, you're going to be in big trouble on the 4. So that right there was the key shot, and now I'm straight in on the 3 to just, not exactly a stop shot because I have that angle. I'm on the right side of the 4-ball line. And I'm just going to use that side rail there on the right hand side as just a little bit of insurance that that cue ball is not going to get away from me. And now I can just draw back off the 5 for the right position on the 6, and the right position is allowing me to play into the line on the 7-ball, or parallel to the line, and staying up a little bit high so I can get right on the 8-ball. And you can see that goes right into the line. And so at this point I'm just going to stop and we're going to replay the whole video with some music. And just from start to finish, 1 through the 9 ball.